Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today inside the boiler room. So for one, I would like to start off by saying today is starting off a little slow. Granted, it's only 8:30, so it might, things might pick up as we get closer to the bell. But as far as the watch list today, pretty small, and for me, doesn't seem like a whole lot's going on as of right now. So we will go over the stocks that I am considering trading. They're all in the headline there. There might be some different ones as the morning rolls around and we get closer to the bell. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Bradley, Daniel, Aker, E-Ray, Mr. Saul. Good morning, guys. So yeah, there's a little bit going on. To me, doesn't look a whole crazy yet. So I'm not getting over excited for today. I'm just kind of taking it easy and just sitting back and hoping something really speaks to me, right? So the ones that I do have on the watch list are kind of just, they're all right, but I'm not gung-ho on them. But I do think they have some opportunities, so we'll talk about those. Good morning to everybody as well. So the couple stocks on my watch list, first would be MU. Not necessarily the number one trade for me, but MU, Micron. They've gone through a significant pullback off of their 52-week high, which leads me to believe that there's going to be some traders that are going to start coming in thinking that it's time to buy long. So I'll be watching MU long and also short today, but I think it's in an area where we might start seeing a little bit of a bounce. Second would be like LOXO, which is an oncology stock. They had an AC or ASCO meeting, American Society Oncologist Committee meeting over the weekend or something like that, in which they reported some positive results for some of their drugs, I believe. So LOXO will be on the watch list. NKTR will be on the watch list. But regardless, I will start sharing these screens so you guys can see the stocks that I'm talking about. So let's do that. All right, so let's pop this into just one screen here. All right, so we'll just talk about LOXO because it is the first stock here on my watch list. So as you can see, it is up from 186 to 215. Now, typically, I would not put a stock like this on my watch list. Yeah, exactly. So typically, I wouldn't exactly, Saul. Now, typically, I wouldn't put something like this on my watch list because it's so low and so dead on volume. But MDGL, let me just briefly talk about this. MDGL was a similar stock that, a couple weeks back, it wasn't trading that much volume pre-market. This is a 5-minute chart, but if we did a 1-minute chart, you'll see. All right, so back, it wasn't trading too much volume either. It looked very similar to LOXO before it started running like crazy. Do I think this is going to happen with LOXO? Not necessarily, but I do think that it has a strong chance of running. It's possible, but, we'll see. So LOXO, very similar stock up on light volume, right? So with the way it's looking, it doesn't look amazing, but I think that even with the light volume, it's possible to trade this. I do believe it's overextended, and usually I would first think to short the stock. So I will be watching LOXO. It will be on the back burner, but I think today we could definitely see it possibly go short. The catalyst here on this stock is they presented at the ASCO meeting over the weekend. And yeah, so it looks like they presented positive interim results on one of their drugs, I believe. So the price target got raised from 190 to 225 and et cetera. So I think this one might be a good one to watch just in case. It could turn into a swing trade. Who knows? But for right now, just going to watch LOXO. Okay. Now, on the next one on the watch list, I'm going to talk about Nvidia. So Nvidia, the reason I'm watching Nvidia is not because I like it too much, but I think it's in an area where we should start paying attention to it. So if you look at the, the daily chart, you'll see that it's up towards the 52-week high, so up right at about 260. So it's possible that we'll see it fail the 260 level. 1 second, too. Let me grab something here. All right, so you can see here that this is a 52-week high at 260.50, and right now we're like right there. So it's possible we'll start to see Nvidia fail off the 260 level where we could open a short position. But it's also notable to watch Nvidia because it is also at the 52-week high area where we could get a breakout and it could end up going higher. So I think Nvidia might be a strong watch today. As you can see, it's kind of in that area where it could break up the 260 level and start running. So we'll be watching it just in case it wants to flip long. All right, so do watch Nvidia today. It's up towards the 260 mark, which is also the 52-week high. You can do options or you can do just trading the stock, whatever you feel comfortable with doing. The catalyst behind MDGL running was, I think, positive phase 2 results or something like that. So again, this one, Nvidia will be on watch today as it's up towards 260, the 52-week high. We can look for a short off of the high or a breakout for a long bias trade over the 260 area on Nvidia. All right. Another one on the watch list. Next one is MU. So MU, right? MU went through this long pullback from 64 all the way down to a low of 56, and then it bounced, and now we're kind of just hanging out. So I think right now is a good time to start watching MU long. Ooh, didn't want to do that. Because it came up to the 52-week high area, and then it came down, right? And now we're starting to see it bounce a little bit. If I zoom in here, you'll see that we have a nice doji candle, inverted hammer candle at the bottom of a move. So I think that we might start seeing a little bit of a dip buy opportunity here on MU. The only reason I'm not super crazy about Micron is because the 50 moving average is right here. And the price action's right here. So we still have a nice gap in between the next big support to where the price action is right now. So do I think MU is a buy today? Not necessarily, but I think in the coming days, we might see MU start trailing back up. So for some of you that really like trading MU, I think right now is a good time to start watching it because we bounced on Friday, right? We bounced here on Friday. We started picking back up. We faded out, but we're still holding a nice support in that area, right? We're still holding up here. So I think we might start seeing MU pick up and go long again. So you can maybe watch MU for day trades, swing trades, things like that. Also note that, right, if you see it was going down, 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 and now it's kind of just basing out, right here. It's kind of starting to base. Instead of moving down, it's starting to just sideways consolidate, right? So that might be a sign that there's going to be a change in direction, all right? Now, another one we'll watch is TRVO, or is that it? Is it? Which one is it? TROV. So TROV is a stock that just went through a reverse split. Now, I typically would never recommend watching a stock that goes through a reverse split, but recently the stocks that have been going through reverse splits have been shooting up in the morning, right? So a lot of the stocks recently that we've seen go through reverse splits have started squeezing out of the bell for nice long bias trades. So I think that's the main reason I'll be watching TROV. Not because I like it, but because it went through a reverse split. And a lot of times these reverse splits will lead to some good long bias trades early in the morning as they squeeze up. So there's really no entry for me yet. It's one of those stocks where you're just going to have to watch it when the bell opens and see if it meets some of your expectations for a long bias trade. Because what happens is this thing was trading at 25 cents. goes through reverse split, chances are it's going to end up back down at 25 cents. So what happens is a lot of people try to short it, and then a lot of times they'll get squeezed up. All right, so watch TROV this morning for a nice pop and run out of the gates if it holds up. All right, and then lastly here is NKTR. So NKTR has a like $25 gap down this morning. So that's a really big gap down. It squeezed all the way up to 90. So on Friday, it pushed all the way back up to this area of resistance. And then it just dumped all the way down to 60. So it's like right here right now. So for me personally, looking at this, I would initially first think short bias because it's a gap down and it's rolling over still. But do be careful because a lot of people could try and short NKTR and it could end up squeezing here this morning. All right. So one thing to note is this area right here. It had previously kind of held a nice resistance up at this like 50, 60 area, right in this area. So that today could hold up as a support. So watch 60 for a support area today. There could be a bounce off that level as well. So those are primarily all the stocks I'm watching here today. Not a whole lot of stocks, just a couple. And there really hasn't been anything that's been going or moving very crazy this morning. They would draw my attention to it heavily. But just know that NKTR is, you know, it's known to squeeze hard, right? It has very big green days because a lot of people try to short the stock because it's up so big. All right. So do note that I will be watching NKTR today. Another stock I'll talk about is MDGL. All right. Yeah. So MDGL, that's the stock that went crazy a couple weeks back where it went up like from 110 to 260. So it went up like 200 points or some 180 points in a day. So we will be watching MDGL short today. That's pretty much all I'll say. I'll be watching it short. It's lower volume, but I think it still has some opportunity to go to the short side if the volume picks up. So just note that I will be watching MDGL short. Lower volume stock, but it's up really big. Could provide a good opportunity. All right. So those are all the main stocks I'm watching today. So I'll take a look here at JN or HMNY. Probably not going to focus on HMNY considering it's very, very cheap. Yeah, so HMNY trades on very low volume right now. There's really no purpose to trade that. JNCE. JNCE is gapping down today. Looks like they got some bad news and their price target was decreased. If you look here, it usually trades pretty low volume, so I wouldn't expect that JNCE is really going to pick up in that much volume today. So I don't necessarily think it's going to be that great of a trade. Apple and Facebook. Apple is pushing up. I knew that. Yeah, so Apple's probably a pretty good stock to focus on today, considering it just went through a flag pattern. All right, so Apple just went through a flag pattern. It's starting to break that flag pattern. So it might, in fact, move up a little bit more today, but it's already up big from when it broke out. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Apple pull back a little bit before running. Facebook, I think, is kind of similar. So Facebook is moved all the way back up, but it's now approaching its 52-week high at 195, and I highly doubt we're going to see it break through 195. As you can see, it popped here to 194.55, and then it dumped. So I'd be watching I'd be watching Facebook short today as it rejected off of the 195 level, and it's now down towards the 190 level. All right. CODX, I would be short bias on. I wouldn't necessarily be long bias. I'd most likely be short bias, okay? You can see it's starting to gap down today. And on Friday, it squeezed up. And then it rolled over. And so chances are we'll probably see it do something like that. So I'd be short bias on CODX today. Could be wrong, but I would still be short bias CODX. Yeah, VSAR is one that I did watch earlier. So it is up, but just based off the way that the stock chart's looking here pre-market, I probably won't trade it. It probably has an extremely big float, to be honest. Let me see. Yeah, so VSAR, it has about a 35 million share float. So it's a decent size float. And so, excuse me, with the amount of volume it's seeing right now, it's not really doing all that much. You could watch it. I know they do have some positive news. I won't trade it, most likely. Okay, so Facebook's got some data things. You can check float size on finviz.com. 1 second, I'll take a look at AMD. So a lot of people talking about AMD recently. That's primarily because it's been doing pretty well. It's just been going up and up and up and up and up. So that's a good sign. But I can tell you that it's been going up for a long time and it has not seen a pullback. So I'm automatically thinking short bias on AMD for right now. Got this 3-year chart. Yeah, for me, I would be short bias on AMD for right now. That's just a quick technical analysis. I don't know anything about the news or what they've been doing recently. But what I do know on a technical standpoint, we've gone from 9 to 14, almost 15, without any big pullback. So I would assume we're going to start hitting some pullbacks, especially because we're up towards the 52-week highs. So I would say that we're going to start seeing some pullbacks on AMD here. Yeah, so they may have gotten an upgrade. I don't pay attention to upgrades or downgrades too heavily because, well, financial analysts and people like that are equally as wrong as anybody, any retail trader, anybody in the market. So I don't necessarily listen to them heavily. That's just my personal opinion on them. But I would be short bias on AMD for right now. So that's primarily the whole watch list here today. So we're going to end it there. I know it's a little bit of a shorter watch list today. But again, there's just not a whole lot moving. All right, guys, so I hope that helps you. Again, today was one of those days where there's just not a whole lot looking amazing, so the watch list is kind of a little all over the place. Not what I would typically like. To touch on the SPY before I head out. So the SPY is up towards, popped to 264.90, I think, this morning. So yeah, the market pushed up close to 265 and it started failing the 265 level. Yeah, a little bit. So what I would say is probably going to happen is we're either going to see it pop to 265 or sorry, excuse me, 275. What I think we'd see happen is we'll probably see it pop to 275 and test that level a few times. And if it can't break 275, it will probably roll over. But do note, if you look at the daily chart, it looks strong because we tried to move lower and now we're pushing up. So I think we're probably going to see the market push higher here in the coming days up to like 280 area, 278, 277. But again, we're right at the 275 level. That's a major resistance point. So it's possible we'll see the market push up there again, test the 275 level, and then fail that level once again. QTM's been basically downtrending for a long time, and it trades on very low volume. So I would not be focusing on the stock QTM. That's just my personal opinion. It trades very low volume. So the only way you could trade it is with the day trade. But on average, just looking at the days, it does not move very well. All right, so we'll end it there for the watch list today. Hope you guys like it. I hope there's better opportunity to present to you guys tomorrow. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow for another pre-market watch list. All right.